Hello and welcome, Loftsiders, into Loftside Banter. It's the long-awaited NFL Team Preview Series, and this is number one. So number one is going to be the Buffalo Bills. I have said it on a few episodes that we were going to do this. I'm attempting a new recording software. It's not new, but it's new for me. So we're going to try that out. And you're going to see me look around at the different screens and stuff like that. So I apologize for that already. But we're going to take a look at the Buffalo Bills and what we think. And by we, I always mean me. The Bills are going to do this season. We'll start with the AFC East, and we'll kind of go into the different divisions and stuff like that. So that's how the kind of process is going to go. But the Buffalo Bills, Bills Mafia, I want you to email. The email is loftsidebanter@gmail.com, loftside@gmail.com. Loftsidebanter.com. You can go there. You can leave messages and everything else like that. I want to hear from Bills Mafia because I'm a Patriots fan. I haven't made that a secret, but I respect the Buffalo Bills, and I've respected the Buffalo Bills since the 4 Super Bowls they won in a row. And I know sore subject for Bills fans and everything else because you lost all 4. And now you've gone through a process of, since 2020, which is the line of where kind of Josh Allen started to make those steps to improve. Since 2020, the Bills have been the second winningest team since that year. And another sore spot for them is going to be, there's only one team ahead of them, obviously, and that is the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs have won the most regular season games since 2020. Buffalo is number 2. KC has ended the Buffalo Bills seasons 4 times in those 5 years. Which, again, I'm not trying to rub this in. I'm stating facts right now because I want to see the Buffalo Bills. If it's not the New England Patriots coming out of the AFC, I think the Bills Mafia and I think the Bills fans deserve a Super Bowl. I do. And again, when it's going to come down to playing the Patriots in the regular season, I'm going to root for the Patriots 100% of the time. But they're not on the same level right now. The Buffalo Bills set offensive records for points in 2024 with 525 points. They were 13-4 last season. They beat the Broncos 31-7. They beat the Ravens 27-25. I feel that they're a better team than the Baltimore Ravens right now. I don't think there's much separating them. And obviously Kansas City's still in that conversation, but I think those are the top 3 teams that are coming out of the AFC in total. So, I mean, I'm not really going out on a limb and making any predictions that are way out there or anything else like that. But for right now, it's the Ravens, it's the Chiefs, it's the Bills. Those are the 3 teams. Can Josh Allen keep up his MVP caliber play? I don't see why not. I mean, they've gone out and they've made a few moves for the offense. Josh Palmer's the big one. Excuse me while I move stuff around here. I just want to double check a roster for them with who they brought in. But, they brought in Josh Palmer as a wide receiver. The weapons that he's throwing to, he has the ability to make them better, which is great. That's what an MVP does. MVPs will obviously make those wide receivers that you have questions about look good. Tom Brady did it all the time. Again, not trying to make this about the Patriots, but, you're looking at Keon Coleman, who they drafted last year. Had a pretty decent season. Played in 13 games, 29 receptions, 556 yards, 4 touchdowns. Again, some injuries and stuff like that. Obviously, rookie learning systems and everything else, but big 6'4" frame. Can be a really great weapon. Elijah Moore's here. Elijah Moore has had some decent seasons. Josh Palmer is the guy they brought in. You still have Curtis Samuel. You still have Khalil Shakir, who had a pretty decent year as well. But these are the guys that they've kind of brought in and said to Josh Allen, hey, make them better. Let's see. Shakir last year, 76 receptions, over 800 yards, 4 touchdowns as well. So spreading the ball out has been Josh Allen's kind of go-to thing. You're not going to really have a guy that's going to be your true number one, I don't think. And that works for someone like Josh Allen, because you can't game plan against that wide receiving core. They also brought in Lashika Chenault, which is a fun name to say in itself. He's in his 6th year now. Again, not really produced like we kind of thought. As I go through and kind of look at what he did last year, it wasn't anything. He only played 1 game for the Chargers, 11 games for the Seahawks, and 5 receptions. The most receptions he's had was in Jacksonville. He had 63, and that was in 2021. So again, he hasn't lived up to that number or the talent that we thought he could be. Even at Carolina in 2022, 2023, 37 total receptions over the 2 years. But these are guys that can come in and you're not really sure what you're going to get out of them, but Josh Allen will find them. So I think Josh Allen still has the ability to be MVP. He's obviously going up against Lamar. He's still going up against Mahomes. He's still going up against players like that for MVP. But Josh Allen has far exceeded when he was drafted, just like everybody else. Quarterback out of Wyoming. Oh, what is that going to be? Oh, he didn't look great right off the bat. So, I mean, he's come a long way. He's obviously the guy, the franchise. You know, he's been better than what I thought he would be. And again, I'm not an NFL scout. I'm not anything else like that. I'm a guy that sits up in this loft and has opinions about things. And I watch all these drafts and I hear what people say. But the number 3 overall pick out of Wyoming is not something that normally tends to work out. The other thing, looking at my notes here, is things that the Bills Mafia has to be worried that there's going to have another gap of time where you have a team like this, and they're really good, and they go to quite a few AFC Championship games, or they go to 4 Super Bowls in a row, and you just don't win. That's the problem. Is you have to be concerned as a Bills fan that you're going to go through another window like this and it's going to pass without a Super Bowl. It's almost those situations where the Knicks and Patrick Ewing, they ran into Jordan. Jordan and the Bulls just had their number. They just weren't good enough to get past arguably the greatest player of all time. And you've watched a career like Patrick Ewing's and a superstar like Patrick Ewing get nothing out of it. Karl Malone, John Stockton, the Jazz have played the Bulls a few times. Couldn't get it done because you're in the era with arguably the greatest player of all time. I'm not saying Patrick Mahomes is that, because I still believe Tom Brady is. I still believe there's time that Mahomes could pass him. But I believe right now Tom Brady is still that number 1 guy on everybody's big board as the greatest of all time. That's my opinion. But Patrick Mahomes has just been different, right? I mean, you can't argue the fact. It's just they didn't look as good last year, and they still couldn't get it done against the Chiefs. The Chiefs won 32-29 in that AFC Championship game. I foresee the Bills being back there. And I'll be honest with you, if they play the Chiefs in anything before the AFC Championship game, I believe they're going to beat them. I believe the Bills are going to get at least the AFC Championship game. I also think that they could possibly be the AFC representative in the Super Bowl this year. I don't foresee that being a stretch. I don't foresee that being out of the realm of possibility. But, I mean, for the most part, that's who you're getting past. Lamar Jackson hasn't shown me yet that in the playoffs he can do it. He's very talented. Again, I'm not going to say that he's not. The Ravens have added a lot of good pieces this offseason, but it's the Bills that I think have that consistency, have a more consistent quarterback, have somebody that has proven to be able to win some games in the playoffs. They just can't get past one team. And that one team, again, did not look good last year. They just did enough. I think it would have been a much better game to have the Bills against the Eagles. I'm not necessarily saying the Bills would have beaten the Eagles last year. I think the Eagles were just a team that was hot at the right time at the end of the year, and they were beating anybody. They're still immensely talented, but I think the Bills are right there. I just do. Let's take a look at some other offseason moves real quick. Obviously, signing Josh Allen to a $330 million contract with $250 of it guaranteed, making the largest guaranteed ever for an NFL player. Huge, huge, huge deal for that. They extended the contracts of Khalil Shakir, as I mentioned before, that wide receiver, linebacker Terrell Bernard, solidifying a core of players. Some new additions, Joey Bosa. Can't overlook the fact that they picked up Joey Bosa as an edge rusher. Josh Palmer, like I mentioned, wide receiver, 3-year contract, $36 million. Probably a little bit more than what he probably should have gotten at $12 million a year. Just because, I'm going to look at Josh Palmer real quick. They focused a lot of different things on their defense, so solidify that defense. We'll go over some draft picks in a little bit because there's some I like, some I don't like. Some notable departures. Von Miller is going to the Washington Commanders, just signed the other day. Wide receiver Mac Hollins went to the Patriots, obviously. I think Josh Palmer is going to be able to really replace him pretty easily. I think Hollins is going to have a little bit more targets just because of the wide receiver stuff of the Patriots. Again, not getting into the Patriots too much. Palmer had 72 catches a couple years ago, 769 yards. It was never broken at 1,000, I don't think. But he had 72 catches in 2022. 2023, way down. Only played 10 games, 38 catches. And then last year played in 15 games, so missed 2, only 39 catches. So he hasn't blown anybody away. But I think he's better than Mac Hollins. So I think it'll be fine. The Bills' offseason moves, I think, were pretty aggressive, paying that much for Josh Palmer. Strategically focused, both immediately and for long-term improvements. And I think these could be some pivotal moves. If not this year, then next year. It depends. Again, it obviously is all going to depend. But I think they've made the right moves now to improve at least a little bit more. And again, you're talking about a field goal here, a field goal there, and everything else like that. Draft-wise, first round, Maxwell Hairston. Hairston tied a Kentucky record with 3 career interceptions. He made 20 starts. I think he had 32 career games. He had 6 career interceptions and 89 tackles total. The 3 career interceptions were returned for touchdowns, which I meant to say before. But he led the SEC with 5 interceptions in 2023. So a guy that's going to be able to shut down the passing game. I liked that pick. Next was defensive tackle TJ Sanders from South Carolina, another SEC guy, second team All-SEC in 2024. Next was third-round pick Landon Jackson out of Arkansas. I said in my draft review I hated the pick. I still don't necessarily like the pick. He just came off the PUP list as training camps are about to start. I think mainly the reason why I didn't like him is because of the online videos of how bad he looked in some drills. And he may be joking around or whatever, but I think that's really what kind of stuck in my craw a little bit. So we'll see what happens with him. I really like Deion Walker, another Kentucky player, another SEC player. Stands 6'7", 331 pounds. He's a big boy. You know, started 36 of 37 games. He was a 2-time captain. Named second all-team SEC. All stuff like that. I think that's probably the best value pick that they had in the draft at 109. And again, that's round 4 for those of you who don't know. Round 5, they ended up getting another cornerback, Jordan Hancock from Ohio State. Nickel safety player. He's aggressive during with the run. He has really good timing as a blitzer. Obviously, national champion in 2024. So, again, another kind of back of the defense guy to help with the passing game that they've struggled with a little bit over the last few years. Tight end Jackson Hawes out of Georgia Tech. He played for Georgia Tech in 2024, and he started his career at Yale, so he's smart. I mean, he has to be, I guess. He's known for blocking. He's not necessarily the most out there pass catcher, but can really help with that blocking. I think they have plenty of tight ends, especially with Dalton Kincaid. I think this kind of gives you that extra element to help that run game a little bit more. He caught 16 receptions for 195 yards in 12 games at Georgia Tech. So, I mean, again, not really out there to catch the pass. He's really good at blocking. Round 6, Dorian Strong. I actually like this a lot as well. Virginia Tech. He played 5 seasons there, 112 career tackles. He was an All-ACC honorable mention. And then in 2023, he was third-team All-ACC. So he's had All-ACC, not just honorable mention, but at least been on some teams and stuff like that. He's an efficient tackler. His ball awareness is, again, I mentioned this in kind of that earlier episode. Again, you want to see it, go see it, or go listen to it, I should say. He's not great with ball awareness. He's got to improve on that. Again, I think that's a teachable thing. A guy they picked up in the 6th round, offensive tackle Chase Lunt from UConn. I really wanted the Patriots to get him. Again, not the Patriots show. He made 49 career starts. He missed just 1 game at UConn. He helped them in 2024 to a 9-4 record, which UConn obviously had struggled for a few years prior to that. He led an offensive line that helped produce 2,500 rushing yards, second most in school history. He allowed less than 10 QB pressures in his entire career. College game is vastly different from the NFL. I understand. A little robotic, a little stiff. Big guy, though. Big guy. 6'7", I believe. Huge offensive tackle. I think can develop into a good offensive tackle. He may not necessarily play a role sooner rather than later. I think he's got to develop some footwork and stuff like that, but really, really big-bodied, and he doesn't allow a lot of pressures. So, I mean, we'll see what happens with his career. And then 7th round was Caden Prather from Maryland. He played his final 2 seasons at Maryland. He played the first 2 at West Virginia, recorded 162 catches, over 1,900 yards, 12 touchdowns. He ranked 4th in the Big Ten with 15.9 receiving yards per game, so he's going to stretch the field for you. That may be the guy that's kind of off the radar right now that's going to be that downfield threat for you. That way you can use everybody else somewhere else. But those are kind of the guys that they've brought in to help improve it. Again, I think the Buffalo Bills are going to be in that AFC Championship game again. I think it's not out of the realm of possibility that they're representing the AFC in the Super Bowl this year. I think this is the closest that they've probably been to overtaking. And I think it's just the right moves. Again, it's gonna hinge on Josh Allen's gonna get the ball out. Josh Allen's gonna throw for his yards. He's gonna throw for his touchdown passes. He's gonna do all those different things. It's whether or not they've put enough weapons around him and stuff like that to be able to make those plays when you need to. Again, those players, the players that you're bringing in, need to make those plays when they matter. And obviously that's going to be against the Ravens and against the Chiefs. Those are the teams. So I'd like to think that the Buffalo Bills are going to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl this year. And, I mean, that should be it. Again, we're going to do these short 20 to 30-minute episodes based upon these teams. Again, Buffalo Bills. Please, Bills Mafia, let me know what you think. Let me know what your expectations are, and let me know what I got wrong so that way we can kind of have a debate about it. All right? So, Buffalo Bills, again, I'm thinking that they're going to represent the AFC this year in the Super Bowl. That's going to be my final prediction for that. So, for the next one, we're going to look at the Miami Dolphins. That's coming up next, hopefully in the next few days. But, again, Bills Mafia, that's loftsidebanter@gmail.com. Bantr is BANTR, so Loftside BANTR @gmail.com. Please subscribe on our YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Podbean, everywhere. And then we have a Facebook group as well, so please go look at Loftside Creative Media, which is the overall company for this podcast, and we will debate back and forth whether or not you agree with me or not. And then any other fans? Any other fans, you think I'm wrong? You think the Buffalo Bills are going to be terrible this year? Let me know. I don't think that's the case, but let me know. All right. Have a good one.